Good morning. Good morning. Well, welcome to an exciting day to the 2025 Arkansas Teacher of the Year Recognition Program. This is something that I know when we put on our calendar, everybody within our agency, I think all of our school administrators, and most importantly our educators across the state get very excited because we know we're going to take the time and opportunity to recognize not just the talent that's in our classrooms each and every single day, but the best of the best of the best. And when we think about what that represents, I did a little bit of statistics and math, and it always makes me nervous, so I had some other people double check my math, but if we have about 35,000 teachers in the state of Arkansas, to be named in the top 14, that means you represent 0.0004%. So that is a big deal. And anytime I get a chance to meet with some of our great educators across the state, I always even reflect on the teachers that had a great impact on me. And a lot of us that go into education went into education because we had that one teacher that made those special connections with us. And that is who we always aspire to be. So I hope to our finalists here today, as you're reflecting on your journey to how you ended up here at this table, that you take a time to reflect, and even if you have an opportunity to thank those teachers that inspired you along the way, because I know it means a lot whenever we can take the time out and appreciate them for what they do. But I also want to recognize some important dignitaries that have joined us here today. We have some representatives from the legislature that we're grateful for. If you want to stand and give a wave. I know Rep. Brooks here and some others may be here. But don't be bashful. I said maybe there's a correlation between the legislature, but these teachers know classroom management. They will keep you under control, so we're not worried about that. And we also have some of our state board members that were here able to join us today. If you could stand and be recognized. And most importantly, we also want to take a minute to thank the Walton Family Foundation for continuing to invest in the schools here in the state of Arkansas and making sure that we host an event like this and do it right and do it well. So we really appreciate their ongoing commitment and support. But without further ado, there's a dignitary I'd like to invite to come up to the podium. And this is somebody that has made improving education in the state a priority. And when we know of a governor that has a passion and conviction like Governor Sanders, we know that the best thing we can do as a state is to invest in our teachers. And she stands steadfast and committed to supporting our teachers across the state, which is why she's going to be known as the educational governor. So without further ado, I'd like for you to all join me in welcoming our 47th governor to the great state of Arkansas, Sarah Huckabee
Sanders. Good morning. Thank you all for being here. Jacob was trying to claim that this was his house a few minutes ago, so if anybody sees him carrying luggage in, please help stop that from happening. We are so excited to be here and to welcome all of you to Arkansas's Governor's Mansion and to celebrate the great achievements of some of the best and brightest educators that we have here from around the state. As many of you know, I grew up in this house, and now as the first woman and mom to serve as Arkansas's governor, I have the opportunity to raise my own kids here. In fact, this is the house that my family has lived longer than any other. So being here really feels like home for our family. Sometimes maybe a little too much like home. You all work in classrooms and deal with kids every day, so you can understand the chaos that often our three kids can cause. Our children are 12, 10, and 9, and when there are not tables in this room, there are Nerf bullets and all kinds of other games that take place. But when we're welcoming guests, we really try hard to keep it respectable, and as we invite people through the doors, want to make sure they have a special experience. But sometimes my kids have other ideas. When I first started as governor and I was showing some visitors around the governor's mansion and walking them through some of the spots on the main floor, pointed to this beautiful old grandfather clock that's in the living room upstairs. And I was giving them the history and letting them know that it was made in Ireland in 1770, and told the group that I was giving the tour to that it was the oldest thing anywhere in the governor's mansion. My wonderful, loving 8-year-old son, George, quickly pointed out as he was joining us on the tour and I was sharing this fun fact that he thought I was the oldest thing in the governor's mansion. So it just goes to show you that no matter what your job is, your kids will always find a way to keep you humble. So as you can imagine, I know many of you are preparing to get ready to go back to school. We are definitely ready for back to school at our house. We have our hands full, but I'm glad that we have the opportunity because it gives me such great perspective as a parent and such great appreciation for those of you who spend all day, every day in the classroom preparing the next generation of young Arkansans. And I want to start by thanking one of Arkansas's best and strongest advocates for education, our outgoing Teacher of the Year, Capri, who has done a fantastic job. Capri, please stand up and be recognized. We are sad to see you go, but not entirely, because we're very excited that she will now be transitioning from the classroom to being full-time at the Department of Education, where we are going to have the privilege of tapping her expertise for many, many years to come. So thank you for your great service in the classroom, but also for your continued commitment to education and joining us at the department so we can continue to help so many additional students. Also excited to welcome and host our new Teacher of the Year, who you will get to hear a lot from, Bo McCaslin, who is coming in this year. I had the opportunity to surprise Bo in his classroom last fall when we got to make the announcement. I'm just glad that today Bo's wearing a suit because when I went to surprise him at his school, it was homecoming week and it was pajama day. And so I think this is a better look, Bo, I gotta say. But one of his biggest focuses is on career and technical education, and he started a student-run TV news program. And as somebody who has been interviewed by journalists from literally all over the world, Bo, you are doing a great job because those kids ask very tough questions. And clearly, they were not messing around, because the day I came in, I tried to operate the camera and they shut me down very quickly and told me that I could take my seat on the other side. So, Bo, we know you're training some very bright and tough future journalists, which we're excited to see them continue to excel. But as you step into this new role, and we have the opportunity today to recognize 14 regional finalists for next year's Teacher of the Year, I know that as you step into this role, you will help and be able to really recognize and lead these 14 individuals. Your cohort includes educators like Tanya Herring from Stuttgart, who started her school's summer bookmobile. 10 years ago, she and a colleague borrowed a food service van from the district to address summer learning loss. They literally drove around their community with books that students could check out like a library. And very smartly, they also added popsicles because they knew that that could help lure some of those kids in to take both a book and a snack. Over the past decade, she has helped distribute more than 10,000 books to more than 5,000 kids, fostering a love for reading one book and, frankly, one popsicle at a time. This group also includes Ricky Maines from Bryant. Excited about that one. My aunt was an English teacher, 7th grade English teacher in Bryant for nearly 2 decades, so a special place. Ricky's earliest history lessons came at the feet of his grandfather, listening to him talk about serving in the Second World War. Today, Ricky is sharing those same important lessons with his students. He's invited Holocaust survivors to schools across the state, started a partnership with the Anne Frank Center in New York, and helped craft our state's first ever Holocaust education course. Each of you that are here in this room and being recognized are changing the trajectory of your students' lives. That's why we made recruiting and retaining the top teachers from around the country here in Arkansas when we wrote Arkansas Learns. We focused on things like raising teacher pay from 48th in the nation to top 5 overnight, and made sure that we invested by giving every teacher at least a $2,000 raise. We created a merit system, and we just awarded for the first time ever $10 million in merit pay bonuses to 3,000 teachers from around the state, ranging from $1,500 all the way up to $10,000 to some of our best and brightest educators. Those bonuses are focused on things like student growth instead of just outcomes, to highlight the teachers who are helping so many struggling kids catch up with their peers. We also launched scholarships for aspiring students or aspiring teachers, and student loan repayment for educators in area with a teacher shortage. And one of my favorites, up to 12 weeks of paid maternity leave for public school teachers. I'm proud that Arkansas is now one of only 4 states in the nation to offer that much leave, especially considering that more than 70% of the educators in our state are women. But I also believe that the greatest and frankly the most important thing that we can do to show how much we appreciate our teachers is simply say thank you and recognize and honor the profession that you have chosen. And that's why we have gathered here today, is so that we can personally thank you for your service and for your commitment to the students across our state. Thank you for investing in the next generation. Thank you for pouring your time, your energy, and your enthusiasm into Arkansas students. And congratulations on your selection as a finalist. From me, from every Arkansas parent, and from our entire state. We are proud of you, and we are so grateful for your service to Arkansas. Thank you for being here today, and congratulations.
Good morning. My name is Bo McCaslin. I'm the 2024 Arkansas State Teacher of the Year. Just so honored to be here today, and honored to introduce our 14 regional finalists. But first, I want to thank God, who for some reason continues to bless me much more than I deserve. I want to thank my wife, Deidre, who is my compass and anchor in life, and for 15 years, she made the sacrifices required of a coach's wife, and now because of me, she's once again making some of those same sacrifices. A special thank you goes to my DQ-TV knuckleheads and our entire Leopard family back home, some of which are even here with us today. I've said it before and I'll say it again, this is not my success story, it's our success story. Thank you, Secretary Oliva and state board members, 2023 ATOY Caprice Salam, 2022 ATOY Jessica Salam, and the entire team at DESE and the Department of Education. You have welcomed me with open arms, and your commitment to students and teachers across the state truly inspires me. Last but certainly not least, Governor Sanders. I want to thank you for your commitment to elevating the teaching profession in our state and the work that you and your team continue to do for teachers and students across our state. I also, though, want to thank you for allowing me back in your home. This time last year, I sat in these same seats as our 14 regional finalists are today. The day was just a blur because of my nerves, being out of my element. I was in a car back to the Queen before I could even start really processing what all had just happened. Which leads me to what I want to share today. I know some of you may be feeling out of your comfort zone. Zach Bryan opens his song, Burn, 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 with the following lyrics. Everyone seems a genius lately, TikTok talking, late night TV. There's still so much I have yet to know. We get dressed up to go downtown in some fancy dress, late night crowd. It seems to be where I feel most alone. In that last line, Brian refers to being out of his comfort zone. We can probably all relate to that today, because trust me, this was not on my to-do list this time last year. We may be feeling a little overwhelmed out of our own comfort zones, but because our comfort zones are noisy hallways and busy classrooms, hot, sweaty, stinky school buses, the sounds of Friday night lights, crowded, musty gyms that smell like stale popcorn, and of course, the organized chaos of the kindergarten car ride line. Our comfort zones are walking by the choir room in late August, wondering if that's really how it's supposed to sound. And then walking by the same class in April and hearing nothing but sweet a cappella harmony. Our comfort zone is taking the extra time and compassion to investigate why that second grade boy, a class leader who excels at reading, is suddenly struggling in and out of the classroom. After a few modifications, conversations with his parents, and a trip to the eye doctor, we proudly watch him transform back into the confident boy that his classmates love. Our comfort zone is filling the gap as a senior who has just lost her mother and suffered severe injuries herself, collapses in our arms, overcome with grief. Our comfort zone is a few weeks later watching proudly as that same student finds the strength to walk across the stage to accept her diploma and takes the first step to becoming the first in her family to attend college. She does so because her mom would want her there. And even though her mom is not there, she knows that her mom is there. As all of you know, teaching is so much more than filling up the tanks with knowledge. We are responsible for filling hearts with hope and transforming lives. Those experiences I just shared, and thousands more like them, are your comfort zones. And because of those experiences, the governor's mansion is also your comfort zone. So I want all 14 of you, take a deep breath, and I'm still taking one now. Take in your surroundings. Make sure you don't let a second of today go to waste because you may feel a little uncomfortable. Cherish every single second because every single one of you deserves to be here. You deserve to be here because of the lives you've been transforming. You're not just teachers, you're transformers. And today we are celebrating you. So cheers to you, 14 of the finest teachers, AKA transformers in the state of Arkansas.